What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel for our Week 4 game previews. I'm your host, Dylan Clemens, here with me, as they are every week, my co-hosts, Michael Plant and Ike Bonnie. What's up, my friends?
Hey.
Not much. I'm doing good. Ike, you still recovering from that hangover?
Looks like
Say it for the people not watching the video.
Yes.
You look a little cleaned up today too, man. No bandana, no beanie on. It looks awfully weird for you today.
Yeah, it is odd.
It's a cleaned up look.
Yes, it is. But yeah, guys, before we jump into our game previews, let me just remind you to please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hit that bell for notifications. Then head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out our all access membership. It's only $9.99 a month, and you get access to our award-winning rankings, our DFS projections, our DFS guys in the Discord who are just killing it every week, making money every week for everybody. So that's been nice so far through the first 3 weeks. So go on, head over there. Again, it's fantasy6pack.net/plans. It's rolling on the ticker on the bottom of the screen. So make sure you head on over there and do that. We appreciate it. Come talk it up in the Discord with us. So it'll be a good time.
Go get your money back in that first slate of matchups with Dave and Chris, man.
Yeah.
I know their shit.
Yeah, exactly. But without further ado, guys, let's just jump right into things. Our first matchup here, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ike, start with you here, man.
Wait, before we start, this is a London game, so this is going to be an early morning game. I believe it's 9:30 Eastern time, just so everybody knows.
Oh, yeah, man. This is the one that's...
this is the Toy Story one.
Yeah, I might have to see if Cooper is going to like that or not. That's pretty sweet, man.
But that one's
forgot about that. Good disclaimer, though. I honestly totally forgot that was the early game. So that good save there, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But Ike, it's been an up and down season for this Atlanta offense, especially their playmakers. Well, mostly Drake London. It's kind of just been low for Kyle Pitts, but last week he had a nice solid, 9 points there. But I'm curious where you have these two ranked this week.
Drake London probably is a little too up and down to start. So I have him like around the wide receiver 30-ish, 36 range. Unless you play 3 wide receivers and want to flex them, that's fine, I guess. Kyle Pitts, I probably wouldn't want to start him. To be honest, he's been, other than the 9 points he got last time, what has he been doing?
Yeah, I mean, but what can you say about all the other tight ends, though? Minus, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews.
Laporta's killing it.
Laporta's good, apparently.
Laporta didn't do much on Thursday. Everybody was all right with him. I think, didn't he have 8 or 9 points or something? Yeah, the position
catches though.
The position, yeah, no, I agree.
It's a low passing offense, so he has to do his most with his 3 to 5 targets.
Yeah,
even when they're down, they don't want to pass.
The ceiling with Kyle Pitts is his talent. It's not the ceiling of this offense. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you said, like it's just not high volume enough through the passing game. But
Bijan's getting probably the most targets out of all of them, I feel like.
Yeah, he's just a Swiss Army knife, and they're using him any way they can, at the little lining him up in the slot, running those little bubble screens and stuff. It's pretty cool, actually, the way they're using him. Hey, Jamie, what's going on, my friend? But I'm curious, since we're talking about the Jaguars, would you rather start Drake London or Christian Kirk this week?
Christian Kirk.
You would?
Yeah, with Zay Jones being out too.
Right on. And Mike, jumping over to the Jaguars now. I'm not going to ask you a Christian Kirk question. I'm going to ask you a Calvin Ridley question, who is really good the first week of the season, but has kind of struggled since then. And he was close to having a solid week last week. He had a touchdown catch broken up at the last second of the end zone last week. But I'm curious, do you see him bouncing back this week?
I mean, yeah, I do, but it's not going to be a boom week because the Falcons are pretty good at defending the pass. They are 6 best at holding fantasy points per games at 27.5 to wide receivers all together. So it's not going to be an explosion week, but yeah, I expect him to get back with another touchdown.
Yeah,
especially with Jones being out, because that's the other red zone target right there.
yeah, that's
one last week that saved him, but
yeah, right. I'm curious. Do you have your rankings pulled up? Where do you have Ridley ranked this week? Do you still have him as, let's see, top 16 guy ish?
I do not have him pulled up right now, but I know he's not top 16. He's probably more in like the 18 to 20 range for me.
That's pretty surprising, man, especially after all the hype after week 1 and just how good he looked. It's a little wild that the expectations have been tempered this far for him already. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we all thought this offense was going to take the next step, and it's kind of looked just
blah. Right?
Yeah, it almost looks like it maybe took just a half step back. It hasn't really gone forward. It's kind of gone a little transverse.
Sure. But yeah, Travis Etienne's been nice in this offense, so you're definitely starting him.
Yeah, the volume for him, I'm actually just kind of shocked with. Tank's getting the red zone work a little bit, but yeah, that was my big surprise because I was down on Etienne in the offseason leading up to it. But I mean, with this type of volume, how do you not have him as a high end, at least RB2, low end RB1?
Yeah, I don't think they really trust Tank a whole lot yet, outside of the goal line work, kind of what you said, because he's the bigger body guy, and we saw Etienne not be great in that role last year. So Tank will stay in that role, but everything else, it's just Etienne's right now.
It's kind of like the Jahmyr Gibbs role. That's what Tank is right now, because Jahmyr Gibbs is like, you get him in the red zone and he doesn't really score, which is kind of like what Etienne had to struggle with. He's just not made for it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's upsetting.
Next game we got here, guys, probably the game of the week here. Might even be the game of the year so far. This is going to be an awesome one. And we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. I'm curious here after what we saw from this Dolphins offense and Dolphins backfield last week, where Mostert and Devon Achane just killed it. Do you expect more of the same this week, or are you kind of tempering expectations for both of these guys in this matchup against the pretty solid Buffalo defense?
I would not be starring Devin. I don't know how you say it. Achane, right? Achane, whatever it is.
Didn't he come out?
I believe it's Achane.
He came out and corrected everybody. I think he pronounces it a weird way, but go ahead and go on.
Anyways,
I'm not sure. Yeah.
You can't chase what he did last week and expect him to do it this week against the Bills. Mostert, with how bad the running backs are right now, you said Titans are bad. Running backs are pretty brutal too. I would be starting him. I have him top 10 running back this week.
I like hearing that.
Wow.
I mean, it is a tough defense.
There's not much after him, though, man. What do you get? There's
you got to tell me who's around him.
Zach Moss, Kyron Williams, Joe Mixon, Ramondre. You have to put Derrick Henry ahead of him, but what has he done?
Not breaking a tackle, that's for sure. Yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah, it definitely hasn't been good for Derrick Henry. You talked me into it, Ike. I get it.
James Cook is all the way to 6.
That's because James Cook is fucking awesome.
Don't get red zone work. He will never get red zone work.
He don't need it. He's awesome without it, man. But yeah, you're firing everybody up in this Dolphins offense too.
Except for Achane.
Yep, Tua Tagovailoa. Jaylen Waddle is out of concussion protocol, so he is good to go. Tyreek Hill is probably just going to keep doing what he's doing. 150, 200 yards a game. Just he's insane right now. But he's
a cheat code.
Yeah, looking at the Buffalo side of things, Mike. Gabe Davis is doing Gabe Davis things. He's not getting the volume, but the last couple games he's getting the big play. Do you see him seeing another big play against this vulnerable Dolphins secondary?
I mean, a big play, that's a tough thing to predict. But Gabe Davis is on the higher end of that. I mean, you're playing the Dolphins where you're going to have to provide big plays if you got Tyreek Hill doing it. So, I mean, you got the best chance probably this week, but it's hard to guarantee a big play with him because he is just so goddamn erratic. Now, the nice thing is he is actually shockingly on the field more than Stephon Diggs at 81.4% compared to 79.5% for Diggs. So that, it's quite shocking. But I mean, if you're on the field, it's just the targets I'm worried about with him, but he is one that can just take one to the house. So it's like the odds are probably like, it's like 60, maybe 40, 55 to 45 type of deal for me, for him getting a touchdown. Like I'm in the 60 to 55 range for the percentage, but again, to predict a long touchdown, I mean, go back to when we had Deshaun Jackson in the league, trying to predict when he was going to get a long touchdown. It's like, just throw him in there, especially in good matchups like this one.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I hear you there. And then you know how I feel about James Cook. I just told you, but how do you feel about him this week? Is he in bust start territory now?
I mean, he's getting the volume. You can't argue with it. It's just, man, his ceiling is absolutely capped right here on camera because he can't get the red zone work. That's the only thing is. So he is going to be a absolute rock solid RB2, and the weeks he gets a touchdown, he's going to creep into the RB1 territory.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree with you there. Let's jump into the next one. What's the next one we got? We got the Minnesota Vikings against the Carolina Panthers.
0-3 versus 0-3.
Yep. Something's got to change here.
I mean, the Vikings were in this game last week with the Chargers, and look what happened.
They should
weird things is what happened in that one. But let's talk about some other weird things, and that's Cam Akers being in the backfield with Alexander Madison now. What do we do here with this backfield?
It's making it hard to start either one of them till you really know what they're going to do. But if you're in a full PPR league, Alexander Madison, I'm assuming, is going to get the receiving work on the team that throws quite possibly the most in the league. So if I had to choose one, it'd probably be Madison for now, till I see what Cam Akers does.
Yeah, I hear you. I do think Cam Akers might be the better back, but until he has a full grasp of this offense, I feel like it's probably Madison's thing, his backfield right now. Through
the air, it's Madison, I think, but they'll probably give Cam Akers 10, 15 carries, I would assume.
I definitely don't want to deal with it. That's for sure. If you can,
I'm out.
Yeah, because the whole reason we liked Madison was the volume, and now it's just going to be cut in half for at least 40% of it.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
I agree as well. Let's jump over to the Panthers side of things. This, so stupid. I don't know. Is Bryce Young going to play, or is it not trending in the right direction? Because this offense really might be better with Andy Dalton. It is right now.
At least for fantasy purposes, it is, because Andy Dalton's just the veteran. He's getting it to whoever's open, where Bryce Young's just kind of doing rookie things, and he's going to continue to do rookie things. Your question is, and I know you didn't really say it, or did you, sitting everybody outside of Miles Sanders with Bryce Young being the starter, and it almost is kind of like that, because, I mean, you look at last week, there was 25 targets divvied out to Adam Thielen and DJ Chark. 14 for Thielen, which is just shocking. But I mean, he capitalized 11 for 145 with Andy Dalton as his quarterback. I don't see that happening with Bryce Young, because Andy Dalton just has that veteran timing down already, where he's hitting his guys outside of the, breaking their route, where Bryce Young still needs to work on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like, man, if you want to kind of chase what Thielen did last week a little bit, maybe throw him in the flex if you're desperate, but there's better options this week.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's a good matchup. Vikings can't stop anybody on defense, even with Brian Flores.
They're gonna keep blitzing you, though. That's for sure.
If it's Dalton, you're gonna want to start Thielen, at least in flex, like you said.
I heard something like they blitzed Justin Herbert over 75% of the game last game. Like, guys, it's not working. He's ripping you to shreds right now. Like, maybe you should stop blitzing. Maybe
they'll get tired sooner or later. Gotta get them.
Just keep sending it.
We'll get pressure eventually
with our one guy that can get pressure, Daniel Hunter.
Our next game,
he's doing good too. He should be talked about more, even though that defense is just garbage right now.
Yes, it is. Another battle of 0-3 teams. We got the Denver Broncos against the Chicago Bears.
Hell yeah!
Is there
sound more excited about this?
Is there a player in this Broncos offense you're not excited about this week against this soft Bears defense?
Basically, the tight end, whoever it is.
Yeah, and Samaje Perine isn't ideal either, but I have really good vibes about Javonte
Deeper leagues, you can
Williams.
start P. Ryan. 10
Where do
teamer,
you-
no
I'm
way.
not.
Where do you
I'm
have
not
Javonte Williams in your rankings this week, Ike? As
Javonte? Let me
Yeah.
look real quick.
as kind of like
I
the
know it's
pass
top
rushing back
15.
in this offense. Yeah, and I think it should be. Do you agree with that, LaPlante?
Yeah, top 15. Well,
He's
don't ask
getting the
LaPlante.
volume, but
He hates Sponte.
He's getting, yeah, I know. He's getting the volume. I would put him around that 15, 16 range, but I
He's
don't.
got to
feel
fall in the end zone
comfortable.
finally. This is the game to do it.
I mean, that's usually. I mean, if you want to hope, we thought that all last year with Deontay Johnson. He's got to fall in the end zone eventually, and then it never happened. So, like, it
They
can
didn't
happen.
play this Bears, though.
It's true. The Bears are a get right game. They really
Yep.
are. I remember looking at the offensive efficiency for the Packers, and Andy Herman was the one who put it out on Twitter. And the first week, their offensive efficiency was just outstanding. And then every game after that, it just went downward. It's like, well, that first
Don't worry,
week
you
they
get him
played the
again.
Bears. Yeah, in week 17.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but I think
I
I'm
don't
gonna
feel
have
good about it.
I think I'm gonna have some shares of the Broncos in my DFS lineup tomorrow. That's for sure.
Marvin Mims, do a lot of him, probably.
The problem with
Yeah.
Marvin Mims, and let's touch on him real quick.
It's a
He's
percentage.
getting the explosive plays. He played like 15 or 16 snaps the last.
It might have
game.
been less.
It's like Kadarius Toney in the Super Bowl last
He has a total of 48 snaps through 3 games, which equates to 25%. It's 5th amongst their wide receivers.
year. So if you are gonna play
Yeah.
Marvin Mims, it really is a dart throw, and you're hoping for a big play, which we've seen it the past 2 weeks. And the Bears secondary is just toast right now. No Kyler Gordon, Eddie Jackson's out tomorrow, Jalen Johnson's out tomorrow. It's just an app. The only starting cornerback for the Bears is the rookie Tyreek Stevenson. It's not good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like Marvin Mims, kind of like Gabe Davis a little bit, but even worse, it's the bargain bin Gabe Davis. Like, just take apart the talent from each player, but look at the numbers. One's playing 90% of the snaps.
Yeah.
One's playing 25% of the snaps. And now the one that got 25% of the snaps, yeah, he hit, but that was even more of a rarer hit than getting Gabe Davis to hit on 90% of the snaps. So, like, it's not going to happen very often where Marvin Mims gets, let's see, last game it was 24.2%. So it's not good. That's volume that's just not there. It's very scary.
And then I see we do got some questions, Mike. Let's hold this off until we talk about the Bears real quick. Let me ask you your question. This offense has been atrocious. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But DJ Moore has been quietly decent. He had a bad first week. Second week was good. I think he had like 17 fantasy points. And then last week he was solid as well. And he dropped the long pass from Justin Fields. Do you think he could keep producing like this? And the offense has to take a step forward, right? It can't get any worse.
I mean, it could. It honestly could at this point. We're talking about the Bears. But he saw 6 targets last week. Like you said, if he catches that one long pass, it changes the outcome of his day like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he goes with double-digit fantasy points, Mike.
I know, yeah. He still finished with double-digit fantasy points because, I mean, he did get the touchdown.
Yep.
But again, we'd be talking about a high-end wide receiver too in that, that 18 to 20 range, so that'd be mid-range wide receiver 2 instead of this like wide receiver 3, 13.1 points. So it's just one catch, and that's usually how it works for our wide receivers. So it's like you get a good matchup. You just see what they did to the Dolphins did to these guys, and that was without Jalen Waddle. So you're starting DJ Moore reluctantly.
Sure.
Especially where you drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ish. You were still getting him at like wide receiver 24. So it hasn't been atrocious. Do you have what he is right now, Mike, pulled up by chance or no?
On the season for all wide receivers.
Yeah. But as you're looking that up, I'll pull this question up. Chandler
wide receiver 40.
Really? Yeah, I guess that first week.
Point. That's total points though. Points per game. He's 42.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Chandler would like to know start Fields or Stroud. Also pick one: Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, James Conner. 6-point passing touchdowns.
This is the one where this is the one where you want to start Justin Fields because the matchup's so juicy.
Yeah.
But don't fall into that trap. Play Stroud. I mean, the volume is just insane right now. I mean, Stroud had a 300. I mean, how many 300-yard passing games already in his career out of 3 games?
Attempting 40 plus attempts a game.
But meanwhile, Justin Fields doesn't have a single 300-yard passing game in his entire career. So it's like play Stroud. That's one of those ones that's risky, but play Stroud. And then you got Evans, Amari, and Connor. PPR 6-point. That's passing touchdowns.
Pains me to say, man.
You're gonna say Connor. I know you are.
No, I'm not going to. Actually, okay. I was gonna say Mike Evans. Actually, I think he's earned the trust in your fantasy teams right now, especially with Deshaun Watson who we're gonna talk about here in a minute. But he apparently has a shoulder injury that he's kind of battling through. Didn't practice most of the week, but he's going to be a game time decision. But he's supposed to be good to go. So I think I lean Mike Evans there. Actually,
I agree.
I lean James Conner.
Not a great matchup, Mike, against the best run defense.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot about that. I did forget about that. That is my fault. The volume's still there. Like if you had other options like there were RBs here, it would still be Connor, even though the matchup blows. But because the matchup blows and you have Evans and Amari, thank you for letting me know that because I know we haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I'd go Evans. I'd go Evans because you got Deshaun Watson a little banged up with Amari Cooper.
Sure. JB wants to know Gabe Davis or Devon Achane in the flex.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe as well. Yeah.
God damn. I know you get Achane off the waiver wire. You want to plug him in. I'm sorry. Achane's just not playing the snaps. He phenomenally did well with what he had last week against a great matchup. But no, play Gabe Davis.
And then next one for Balbo, we got Brandon Ayuk or Adam Thielen. Give me Brandon Ayuk here.
If Thielen plays, if Andy Dalton somehow plays because Bryce Young gets ruled out, give me Thielen.
I'm going with the plan there.
You guys,
I'm serious. He got 14 targets, dude.
I don't expect that to change if Andy Dalton's under center.
Exactly. So if Bryce Young's the quarterback, you're going Ayuk.
Put in
if Andy Dalton's the quarterback, you're putting in Adam Thielen. I would at least.
The red rifle.
And it sounds like Ike would too.
Yes.
Next game we got on the docket. Kind of already plugged it a little bit. We got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Like we're going to start with the Ravens side of things here. Are you starting Lamar, who's kind of had an up and down season so far? This Browns defense is no joke. Let me say that. Yeah, they are very, very, very good. So where do you have Lamar ranked? Is he top 12 guy for you?
I can't remember who gave the stat, but I remember telling Ike that the Browns have only allowed 4 red zone snaps so far through 3 games.
Yeah.
I still got top 12. They have not versed a quarterback like Lamar who can do stuff with their legs. So that's what he's probably going to have to lean on. Plus, he's going to be running for his life for Myles Garrett. So I can see him getting into the end zone, which will salvage your day for a top 12 quarterback for sure. I have him quarterback 7.
Right on. Are you starting to worry about Zay Flowers a little bit, or is it just kind of a rookie wall right now, and you're just gonna keep?
He saw 10 targets, bro.
Yeah.
It's just his yardage is not there.
It's not super efficient yet. Yep. Yeah.
He still finished as wide receiver 30 something last week, and once he's getting those type of targets, he's gonna finish as a wide receiver 3 or better.
Yeah, that's fair. Go ahead, Mike.
Just not very far, getting the pass very far downfield.
Yeah, low A-dot for sure. Yep.
Yeah, just A-dot close to the line. That's the only thing.
I'm intrigued. Are they going to put Denzel Ward on him?
Why not? That's Denzel Ward's specialty is, quick.
Because Odell's rolled out again,
right? Yes, I believe he was questionable. He hasn't been officially ruled out.
I'm not sure if Denzel Ward travels much in the slot. If that where Zay Flowers has kind of been making his hay, I'm not positive if they'll send him over there or not. But looking at
probably won't.
looking at the Cleveland side of things, we already touched on the Deshaun Watson shoulder injury, Mike. Let's talk about the backfield. Let's talk about Jerome Ford. He was saved last week with the receiving touchdown, and he fell into the end zone on the ground as well against a good Tennessee front. In this matchup against Baltimore, are you back in on him this week?
I mean, I wasn't really in on him last week because of the matchup, because he did get saved, like you said, with 2 touchdowns. But he's not getting as much volume as we expected, being the Nick Chubb replacement. But he is, even last week when you did get Kareem Hunt there, he was still 56.3% of the snaps, where Kareem was 19.7. And I know they were easing Kareem back into it, but I even saw reports of Kareem being on an injury report already, and it's only 1 week of him playing a game. So it's not very, it's not very good for Kareem Hunt, which just means more snaps for Ford, most likely. He got 3 targets, but the Kareem Hunt did as well. It's like, dude, he averaged 1.8 yards per carry last week. Like, he literally had 18 yards rushing.
Yeah, that front for Tennessee.
It's not good.
Joke. Yeah.
But that's I know that's part of the front there, but I mean, God, at least get 2 yards per carry against them. They've been so I'm actually, as a top 24 guy, I'm like right there, but he's low end RB2, absolute low end, maybe even high end RB3.
A little lower on him than me then. I'm kind of digging him this week, but I respect it. Jamie adding in Browns have only allowed 21 first downs this season, and only 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. That's wild.
I know, that's really good so far.
I mean, they did play Tannehill and can't remember the other 2, but
Joe Burrow
and
Joe Burrow with 1 calf.
They lost the game to Pittsburgh.
1.5 calves.
Kenny, I got these small hands. Pickett.
Just got these tiny hands. Speaking of Kenny Pickett, nice professional segue there. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Houston Texans. I mean, we're not talking about Kenny Pickett anyways, because
nobody wants to anyways.
12-team leagues, yeah. But let's talk about Najee Harris. And let's talk about if he has moved to your bench or not. Do you have him as a top 24 guy, or is he moved out of that?
He's getting the rushing volume, but he looked like I said last week, I'll say every week, he runs like a blocking tight end. He just plods around.
He looked actually better last week, in my opinion. Yes, he was slow, but he looked better.
He had his lowest yards per carry last week. He averaged 3.4. I don't know why.
He didn't. I understand he does plot. It reminds me of Eddie Lacy a little bit. But he just looked like a little bit more explosive on the first step. It's just, man, that second step is so slow.
And what made him so good his rookie year, he doesn't get anymore. He only has 3 catches on the year.
Yeah, I remember that 90 reception season. That was fun.
That's
only 6 targets
in the past now. Yep. Oh man,
it's a wrap for him, man.
I actually blame Matt Canada. I don't blame him.
I don't. I blame how slow he is.
He's just not good, Mike.
Matt Canada's not good.
It's fine. It's fine if he's not good. It's okay.
Oh gosh, Jamie, I'm thinking about setting Najee for Roshan. No, don't do that. You play Najee over Roshan, I think.
I don't have a problem with it, Jamie, if I'm being honest.
You're falling for the matchup, huh?
If you're so frustrated, Mike, Najee has killed your fantasy teams.
Michael Planet, he hasn't scored above 10 fantasy points.
If you drafted Najee Harris in the second round where he was going, he has killed your roster.
He's legit averaging almost 6 points a game.
I have him in a few places, and it's literally killing me. I drafted him and Damian Pierce, who we're going to talk about.
Get Jalen Warren. I'd start him over Najee.
And they've been bad. Jalen Warren's better.
I agree.
He's just better.
I mean,
Najee hasn't scored a touchdown either, so that's another just brutal fact.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, I can't sit 19 rushing attempts for 8. I'm sorry,
but he's not doing anything with those 19 rush attempts.
But Mike, pull up. What are the targets look like between the two? Can you pull up that? And those are the more valuable touches.
I can look that up after this one. I just have last week's. Roshan got
Warren has
last week. Najee
16 targets. Najee had 6, I believe.
Through the first 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's I just
He's
can't
at least
do it anymore.
scored
without-
above 10 points. He's actually outscored Najee every week.
Yeah. But we do got before we hop into the Mike, let's just talk the Texans real quick and then we'll get to these questions. Dameon Pierce found the end zone last week, but he still didn't
Another
have
guy
an
who's
efficient
plodding
day.
around.
Yeah, he hasn't been good. And to be fair, this offensive line is banged up and it's atrocious. Do you foresee Dameon Pierce having another solid week, Mike, against the soft Steelers front that they've been so far?
I do expect him to get in the end zone again, but I don't know if it's going to be a great efficiency week. I just don't. The O line for the Texans are not very good. They're probably going to make the D line for the Steelers look pretty good, to where I don't think he's going to it's going to be like a 15 for probably like 55 yards, but I think he falls in the end zone again. That's what's going to
20 for 55.
Yeah, it's just it's
that
not
just
great
ruins
stuff.
the efficiency even more.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep. But
No, it ain't.
Nico Collins kind of came back down to earth a little bit last week. Tank Dell still doing his thing. You probably want to be starting Tank Dell this week.
I think he's worth a flex.
Is Nico Collins still plugged into the wide receiver 3 spot in your lineup, Mike?
Yeah, 3 or flex.
All right, fair enough. So let's hit up some of these questions we got here from Alex Smith. You got Sit One PPR. We got DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, Travis Etienne, and Kyron Williams.
Kamara.
Wow.
I think you have
First
to
game
sit
back in a
Kamara
while,
this,
man.
I think you have to sit Kamara this week as well.
We saw what Jacobs did when he was coming back from not training camp or anything like that. I'm pretty sure Kamara was allowed to practice, though, right? At some point.
Yep. He is.
So he might be a little bit better, but still, I wouldn't want to.
I still don't.
Don't you
man.
dare say DeAndre Swift.
I do say DeAndre Swift.
You just don't care about running backs looking good and who doesn't look good.
All he does is just
I never said he
dominate
didn't
with
look
the
good.
Eagles now.
Never said he didn't look good, but you know the Eagles as well as I know the Eagles, and at any point they can go, you know what? Today is a Kenny Gainwell week. Or even surprisingly, maybe a Rashad Penny week. So that's what really scares me. And I mean, we're talking about Kamara. Who's behind Kamara at this point? Jamal Williams is on the IR. Tony
Miller.
Jones Jr., Kendra Miller. Kendra Miller didn't look that good last week. So I sit Swift.
You crazy man.
No, you're just biased because you're starting Swift finally after sitting his ass for 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
Star one full PPR. We got Raheem Mostert, Rashad White, Kyron Williams, and I'm already starting Puka. I'm
Start one.
starting the number.
The Rams
I'm starting
get
the
the Colts.
I'm starting the number 1 running back in fantasy football right now. Raheem Mostert.
I'm starting Mostert.
Believe it or not, he is the number 1 running back in fantasy
Like you
football
said,
right
this
now.
might be a high-scoring game. The chance of him falling in the end zone is pretty high.
All right. Man, that's tough sitting Kyron Williams, though. You guys
It
want
is.
to talk about volume that he's been seeing.
He's
I
getting a
have
lot of
him right
targets.
after Raheem Mostert. So I guess it's a toss-up.
Yeah. Maybe take it to the coin, Kenny. Just flip that sucker.
I mean, you could use a deciding factor is because you're starting Puka already. You know, you're kind of capping your ceiling, putting 2 players in the offense. So that would be my deciding factor instead of flipping a coin.
Well, and the perfect segue. Our next game, we got the Los Angeles
good,
Rams
man.
versus the Indianapolis Colts.
The
And
question was
Mike,
good.
Does Kyron Williams bounce back after a pedestrian week 3 with all the volume?
Yes, he
that he's
does.
seeing?
I have him, like I said, just like a minute ago, top number 10 running back. He'll be fine. He gets so
I'm
many
scared.
targets.
You can
What'd you say?
pass on him. I'm scared. You can pass on the Colts. You can't really run on him, but if he's getting the target, so that's where
Yeah.
he can salvage it.
I'd like to see Zach Evans do something, maybe. That'd be cool.
Nah,
Yeah,
not
we
gonna
all
happen.
would.
It's Kyron.
No, I think that's just me and you, probably.
Sean McVay just wants to rely on one guy, and Kyron Williams is his guy. At this point, guys, I know
Sprinkle in a
Puka-
little Ronnie Rivers.
I know Puka wasn't great last week, but you're still rolling him out there. I'm still fine rolling Tutu out there too. Who would have thought I mean, I'm sure there are people out there.
I'm
who
sitting
like
Tutu as soon as Cooper comes back, but play
sure.
Tutu as long as you can.
Yeah, man. Who after what we saw from Tutu or what we didn't see last year, I feel like we were kind of like, this guy might be a bust. He just might be gone, and then just explodes on the scene this year once he gets his opportunity. Been very, very nice.
Worth that second round pick they used on him.
Yep. Mike, rumor has it JT might come back to the Colts next week.
He don't want to play for him.
I know. He
Reports?
definitely does not. Are you riding Zach Moss until JT comes back? And how do you feel about
How do you
him?
not?
Yeah, no.
How do you not? I know I kind of interrupted your completion of the question, but how do you not start him right now? He's just dominating it. He's getting the snaps, and with the news of JT not wanting to even play for him, I know A-Rich is probably gonna cap his ceiling a little bit, take those touchdowns away. But Zach Moss has shown he can get a touchdown outside the red zone. So yeah, I still I know you ride with Zach Moss as shocking as it is, just as shocking as we were starting Kyron Williams. We didn't think that was going to be the running back for the Rams this year.
Let me ask
I thought he was going to get cut at some point.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Has Zach Moss done enough where you think that he has carved out a role even with Jonathan Taylor back in the lineup if JT comes back?
No, because I just don't. It's hard to have multiple options outside of your one receiver that you're getting in Pittman and your one running back when you have a rookie quarterback. That's why.
They're kind of the same type of running back where they're power running back.
Yep.
It's just it's hard to be supportive of that many fantasy options in an offense when you're a rookie, especially one that is more prone to running the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially one that runs. That's for sure. Next game we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints with a battle of the NFC South teams. I feel like this is the same question every week. Like, where do you have the top three guys ranked in this offense for the Buccaneers? And why don't we start with the running back, Rachaad White? I know you've said it's been a wasteland for running backs. Is he a top 15 guy for you?
Right outside of it.
Okay.
You've got Zach Moss ahead of him, obviously. I still think DeAndre Swift, like LaPlante, I think he's got the lead back role now in that awesome offense. So, I mean,
the only thing that's benefiting Swift right now, in my opinion, is the fact that the Eagles are struggling so much on offense. They're relying on the run game, and that's why Swift is doing well.
He's doing what Miles Sanders wasn't even able to do last year.
Yeah, let's stay on track.
What was Miles Sanders doing back-to-back 120s?
Yeah, no, I hear you. But we're on the Bucks. Like, we kind of know what Mike Evans is. I know I said earlier that he's kind of earned our trust. Probably you have him solidified probably as a top 20 wide receiver now.
Oh, yeah.
But let's touch base on Chris Godwin, who's just blah. Where do you have him ranked?
I still have him as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 28, actually. But I still like to think he can do some damage. I don't know. It's just that I don't know why he's not getting targeted. I thought Baker was more of the slot, the slot type of thrower, not the deep guy. Next thing you know, he's sending it to Mike Evans 60 yards down the field all the time.
Do you have Chris Godwin ranked higher than DJ Moore?
I do. Why? Because DJ's Moore is not good. The Bears' offense is not good.
But DJ's outscored him the last 2 weeks, though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. At least I think so. Mike, you have Chris Godwin. What has he been doing?
Like I know
Solid
the Bears'
10
offense
points.
isn't good, but I don't think the Bucs' offense is still spectacular, especially when all the targets are being funneled to Mike Evans. At least DJ Moore, the bulk of the targets are being funneled his way.
The question is he gonna get Patrick Surtain on him?
I don't think it.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't matter because when you go against Tyreek, you're not stopping him no matter what. And DJ Moore doesn't have Tyreek speed.
But the Broncos also haven't been able to stop anybody all season long either.
Yeah,
Washington put on
DJ
like
Moore,
35 on him.
That's fair. We'll have to see.
Sorry, I just wanted to.
Good
I know
job.
I just threw the DJ Moore shot at you. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of a discussion here because I'm a DJ Moore guy, and I know you're cut. When you said that Chris Godwin, you had him ranked wide receiver 28, that kind of blew my mind. But obviously, you rank. I don't. You're obviously better than me at that. So I'll trust your opinion, even though I completely disagree with you.
I'm looking at it, and the only difference here between DJ Moore and Chris Godwin throughout the year, and Moore is wide receiver 40, Godwin's 48, and the only difference is Moore has a touchdown. If Godwin had a touchdown, he'd be right there with Moore pretty much, because Godwin actually has more targets, more catches. It's just Moore has the touchdown.
Right. And since he's in that slot, he's not going to get those yards that he wants, like that DJ Moore is getting.
Let's get to the Saints now, Mike. Derek Carr, just want to touch on this. He is a game time decision, which surprised me. I thought he was going to at least miss this week, but there is a chance that he goes tomorrow. What do you expect from AK, though, in his season debut, Michael Plant?
Well, we saw 17 combined rushes from Kendre Miller and Tony Jones last week, so I expect around 15 carries for Kamara. And I believe I'd have to go back to it, but I believe it was about 5 targets between the two, which I 100% expect that target share to go up with the RBs as soon as Kamara gets back into the lineup. So it's like he's going to get 20 touches, in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah,
Kamara?
That's nice to hear. So if he's gonna get 20 touches, you gotta have him as a top 15-ish running back in your rankings this week, top 10.
He's top 15 for sure. Okay. Yeah, top 15 for sure, just based on the volume alone. I mean, if you're in PPR, it's probably even ticked up to like 12 because
running backs are brutal right now too.
Yeah, because of that uptick in targets that he's going to just get.
Yeah, if he gets that type of volume, people are going to be very happy with where they got him in drafts after the suspension. That's for sure. Before we jump,
waiting.
yeah, definitely. But before we jump into our next game, we do got a question here. He just wants to hear our thoughts. I just traded away Rachaad White and Thielen for Raheem Mostert and Sutton. What do you think?
I like it.
I like it too. You got the number 1 running back in fantasy. Now he is injury
Hopefully
prone,
you get the place done.
He is injury prone, so that's the one thing that bugs me. But you can make that argument about any player. I mean, not being injury prone, but just an injury ruining a trade.
Yeah, I think that's.
I like it
as well. Yep.
I
like Sutton more than Thielen for the rest of the year.
I mean, if Andy Dalton's the starter, no, but that's it's probably not going to be him for the rest of the year.
The next game we got the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Ike, what is your paddock meter at with Jahan Dotson and Antonio Gibson? It's probably got to be close to an 8 to a 10, I'm going to guess. Here.
For Antonio Gibson, it's literally like a 10.
It's just a flashing red light at you, huh? Like
if I'm correct, didn't even the backup to him get touches last week, Chris Rodriguez or something like that?
Yeah.
It's not looking good for him, man. They were
down the way so he's much.
Then use him like he's supposed to be used, which is in the passing game. But no, they refuse to because who knows what's going on with this offense, which also brings me to Jahan Dotson, which is also probably 10 because he's getting less targets every game, less catches every game, less yards every game, less fantasy points every game. So
the NFL loves Curtis Samuel way more than the fantasy industry loves Curtis Samuel.
The enemy likes him a lot.
Yeah, they just can't stop using it. Even last year when Samuel was on the field, man, you see that they always want to keep using him. He's just Ron Rivera's guy, I guess.
He must run really good routes, he's just not good at catching the ball.
Jahan Dotson everybody loved Jahan Dotson in the fantasy industry this offseason, and he has just completely fallen on his face, and it really is.
Don't worry, he's got Chicago in a couple weeks.
Get right game. Yep.
It is a get right game.
There we go. Looking over at the Philadelphia Eagles, and we've kind of talked about this, and I'm sure you guys are going to fight about it right now, so I'll give you guys 2 minutes to just go at one another. And Mike, I'll let you start. Is Swift must start this week?
I mean, in the what we got for RBs, yeah, because you probably don't have much of a better option. I know we'll get to this question here that Joshua just posted, but like he's choosing between DeAndre Swift and like Breece Hall. Like, yeah, that's a must start situation in that scenario. So most likely your second option is not going to be much better. Like if you just picked up Achane and you're choosing between him and DeAndre Swift, yeah, you're still going DeAndre Swift. So it's like, yeah, he still is a must start. It's just I am just worried in the back of my head that at any point Jalen Hurts will take the lead or Kenny Gainwell will come in and impress, and then Sirianni's just going to be like, you know what, we'll roll with the vibe because that's how it is.
Sure, I get.
But yeah,
that.
he's a top 24 guy in my opinion. I think he's probably more around the 15, like 14 to 12 range right now with the matchup this week. The Commanders got a solid front. So
Yeah,
if he has a good week, it's going to be due to some targets or just a big play.
And then let's just answer Joshua's second half of his question. Adam Thielen, Drake London, who are we, or Breece Hall, who are we starting that's left over there?
So flex. One running back and then a flex.
Yeah,
DeAndre Swift's the running back.
Yeah, we agreed that we're going to start DeAndre Swift either way. And then I think you guys already touched on it earlier. It's Adam Thielen, right?
As long as
the Red Rockets,
the Red Rifles playing.
Yeah, I mean, monitor that because if Dalton's in, you're playing Adam Thielen. But if not, it sucks choosing between Drake London, Adam Thielen, and Breece Hall.
Yeah, that's not great, but I'd still probably go Adam Thielen, I think.
Then I know, Joshua, you got another question, but we're going to go ahead and finish the game with this question. Mike, what's your panic meter on Dallas Goedert? Because let's face it, guys, we shit on Kyle Pitts weekly. But how much better has Dallas Goedert really been for fantasy managers this season?
Not good, but the offense hasn't been good. That's the thing. Is like you've had a couple good weeks from Devontae Smith. One good week from
Atlanta. They've been the same. It's like I
don't know the offensive efficiency.
At least he's constantly on the field.
Yeah, that's true. He is constantly on the field. I mean, it's a new
he's
offensive
coordinator
for. Yeah, it's a new offensive coordinator trying to get his feet wet in this, and I just don't think he has a plan for Goddard yet. But here's the thing: name a better tight end to start over him. I mean,
I just gave you Kyle Pitts or Dallas Goedert.
I'm still
just
calling Goddard.
Is better.
Because at that point you're looking at the low end tier of RB tight ends. So it's like who's more likely to score a touchdown.
Let's say Sam Laporta didn't play already. Who would you rather play? And he was playing the Packers.
Laporta
over Goddard already, yeah?
Because the volume. Yeah, I mean, did he have 5 catches against the Packers? I can't remember. Because, I mean, he's had 5 catches in all 3 of his first starts. So, like, Dallas Goedert, I don't even think has 5 targets in each of his games. So
he has 7 in back-to-back games.
Okay, well, that's good. I like that.
Just no efficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
6 catches and 1-5 in the
other. Next question for Joshua. We got pick one player from a flex. Brandon Ayuk, Javonte Williams, Jacoby Myers, Zay Flowers, Terry McLaurin. Jeez, man. Full point PPR. Yes, it really is.
Javonte.
No.
Of course you picked Javonte.
Why are you off? Now why are you off Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, dude.
Huh?
Apparently, because Debo is now the top target in that offense.
I mean, he was out one game.
I was going to say Ayuk was eating when Debo was there anyways. So why did
it was
matter?
The touchdowns that he was eating? All right, settle down. He still didn't get as many targets as Debo.
I understand that, but with how efficient Big Cock Brock
is right obviously the efficiency is going to go down.
It just surprises me that you're off of Ayuk. You kind of hinted at it earlier too. I'm still going Ayuk here. LaPlante, what do you?
I'm going Ayuk. Going Ayuk 100%.
Yeah, it's weird that
he's Purdy's number 1 option when he's been in the lineup.
I agree, especially. I do agree with you, Ike, that they are looking to get Debo more involved, but I don't think that's at the expense of Brandon Ayuk. I think that's more of at the expense of other players in the offense, mainly George Kittle. That's
yeah, George Kittle is bad right now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, yeah. I mean, Javonte's got a great matchup this week too. Like Jamie says, he's got him as a top 24 running back this year. I mean, oh wow, Bears have allowed 5 top 24 running backs this year in 3 games.
Sure,
that's impressive. You've allowed 5 running backs to be top 24 in only 3 games.
That's
math
where we
does
are,
not
Michael
math.
Platt. That's where
Math-
we are. The next
math
game
is
we
not
got
mathing.
here, which could actually be a very ugly game if Burrow doesn't start getting it together. We got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Tennessee Titans. Like, where do you have Mixon ranked against this tough Tennessee defensive front, who he's just seen slow running backs down, minus Jerome Ford catching the touchdown last week?
Yeah, I mean, still I'm in his top 12 running back because, like I said, running backs are kind of brutal right now. And
Stop
he's still
drafting
getting
them early, unless it's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, right. I mean, even Eckler's he's injured, but whatever. Still got to start him, even though it's definitely against one of the better rush defenses. I still think the offense is going to figure it out enough to get down there, and he'll probably plot in the end zone once or twice.
Sure. And then I know it's not on the show sheet, but I'm going to lump 2 guys here together here. Are Burrow and T. Higgins still must-start territory after what we've seen from them? Higgins
I would
had
not
a big...
be starting
Go ahead.
Burrow. I would not be starting Burrow yet.
Even in this matchup, huh? Because Tennessee is brutal against quarterbacks.
But
I would
he can't step into his throws. That's why he's not doing anything with T. Higgins. T. Higgins is the deep threat, and you have to step into those throws to be accurate. And he's clearly still feeling the calf injury. That's why he's always in shotgun, doing a quick 1-step drop, and then doing what he can with it. But that's why I like Mixon more. I like Chase more. T. Higgins, hopefully.
I don't like Mixon in this matchup, man.
No, I don't either.
Because here's the thing: if there was ever a get right game for Joe Burrow, this is the get right game to do it for passing. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson; he was actually valuable last week against this team because they couldn't run the ball; they had to pass the ball. I do think that Burrow gets right, but only because of the matchup. I don't think he gets healthier. All right, because unless the Tennessee Titans change up their game plan from the first 3 weeks, it's going to be the same exact thing, and the quarterback's going to throw all over.
Well, if he ain't getting healthier, then he isn't going to be what he was. You're going to see the same shit. 51 pass attempts, 28 completions.
Yeah.
It might actually be more because of, Deshaun Watson only missed, 5 passes last week against this offense? This defense?
Deshaun Watson also can run, so they have to watch him. All they have to do is prevent the defense and send 4 at him, collapse the pocket, and what's he going to do?
I'm hesitant about starting Joe Burrow, don't get me wrong, but this is the week where you should feel just a little bit more confident.
Sure. And then we are a little confident in T. Higgins, especially. I want to say he saw 8 targets. He just had his hands were broke when last week. It definitely was not a good game from him.
You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, agreed. Let's look at the Titans here, though, Mike, and it's going to be a quick look because who in this offense are we really excited about starting? I'll
excited? Nobody.
Thank you. Yep, that's the right answer. Ding, 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 ding.
You're still starting Derrick Henry, unfortunately. It's just you're hoping the snap counts actually go more into his favor because Tajay Spears is absolutely out-snapping him, but that could be due to the fact that they're always down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Tajay Spears is in for the passing work. But you still got to start Hopkins like in the flex maybe if you're desperate just because of the volume. He is 20th for targets in wide receivers, so like that's still wide receiver 2 volume. So it's just it's shitty volume. Not all targets are created equally, and his it's all hard.
Especially when Ryan Tannehill's throwing you the football, his arm just looks absolutely toast. Heading on over to the afternoon games. The first one we got on the docket is the Las Vegas Raiders taking out the Los Angeles Chargers. No Jimmy Garoppolo in this game for the Raiders. He's been ruled out with the concussion, so it's going to be probably the rookie, right? Aiden O'Connell?
It's going to be bad.
They're going to have to rely on Josh Jacobs.
No, it's Hoyer. Hoyer's the backup.
Is
Connell's
it?
The third stringer, yeah.
All right. So, yes, that's my question. Jacobs not been good. But this Chargers run defense, not been good. Is this the week where they just absolutely rely on Josh Jacobs? Maybe he sees 25 carries or something. Do we?
It'll be 25 carries.
blow up from him this week then? You like him?
Enough to fall in the end zone. I still don't think he's fully game ready yet. He keeps saying at least it was in the interview before the game on Sunday night or Monday night, whatever one it was. He said he's still getting used to the actual hits in the game and how fast it is because he was out for so long.
Yeah.
Which that's not great to hear, but still, this defense is so bad. This is the perfect shot for him to actually get his shit together. Top 5 running back, I'm pretty sure I have him as. I don't want to pull it up right now.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's talk about the pass catchers, though, because it's been nice seeing Jacoby Myers kind of carve out a role for this offense. Devontae Adams. It hasn't been great at where you drafted him, but he's been
20 targets last week, though.
What does he? Without Garoppolo, is it just bad news bears? Are we kind of just like
Devontae is a must start. You got to start him just because where you draft him. I'd leave Myers out because I don't really know.
I trust Hoyer will get the ball to Devontae. Myers, though, is the sketchy one where it's like, Jimmy's fine throwing that slot, underneath if Devontae's not there. I don't know about Hoyer. I think he's just kind of
I haven't seen him in a minute. So
he's 100.
He's got to be. He's bagging up Tom Brady at one point.
Yeah, I feel like he can only really kind of funnel. And I do think Devontae Adams gets 10 plus targets. It's just those are one of those ones where the targets are not created equally.
Yeah, man. I don't love this offense this week.
They're going to try and make it they're going to try and make it a Jacobs run the game. It's just the Chargers might abide by it because of the Mike Williams injury. They might try to go a little bit more run heavy, but Eckler is, I believe he was doubtful. So even, what are they going to do? Run with Joshua Kelly? He has been very good.
Right. And I was going to say, ideally, you'd think the Chargers would be ahead in this game, but it's the Chargers, and they're always chargering. So it's like this game's probably going to end up being close, especially with
they like to lose their Raiders.
Game. They like to do weird stuff. That's 100% a fact. But Mike, let's talk about. You already kind of talked about it with the Mike Williams injury. You could pick which guy here, but does either Joshua Palmer or Quentin Johnston slide right into that Mike Williams fantasy role, or are they going to be kind of split here, you think?
It's going to be more of a split approach, I think. But I trust Joshua Palmer out the gate more. I do think Quentin Johnston he does have the ability to break out in the second half because of the uptick in volume now. But, Keenan Allen saw 20 targets last week after that Mike Williams injury. And what's to say it doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
So Joshua Palmer did get 8 targets. He got the touchdown. So I just feel like there's a higher confidence. Yeah, there's a higher confidence level with Herbert to Joshua Palmer than Quentin Johnston just at the moment. I'm sure once Johnson gets more games in, more reps, it'll be him eventually.
And we've seen Joshua Palmer produce too. I wrote about him in my waiver wire article, and I want to say he had 6 finishes last year as a top 36 guy. And
because of the injuries.
3, yes, right. And 3 as a top 12 guy. So he has shown you that he can be a fantasy relevant player for sure. And it is a good matchup against the Raiders, who are a train wreck. We didn't even talk about Chandler Jones being released with the stuff he's got going on as well. So that's not ideal. He's the best pass rusher.
You just have a bigger sample size there too with Joshua Palmer. Because we made the same case with Joshua Kelly. But he only had 5 games maybe, and 5 games in total. And he didn't really do a whole lot with them, where Joshua Palmer had those games, and he was, like you said, top 24, top 36.
Josh Kelly's just not good. I think that's what the problem is too with him. And I think that's kind of what you're insinuating. We've seen Joshua Palmer. He's talented. So.
Yeah, we've seen the talent. Multiple times, not just a couple times with Joshua Kelly.
No doubt. Next game here, we got the New England Patriots. Oh, squeak there. Whoa.
Oh boy.
New England Patriots versus the Dallas
Your
Cowboys, who
squeak.
are just going out with squeak. Ike, are you worried about Stevenson? Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. I watched a lot of that game last week. He didn't look good. I knew the weather sucked, but he just looked like he wasn't enjoying himself. And we saw Zeke get a lot of work. I want to say like 16 carries, and he looked pretty decent for 80 yards. Are you worried about the increased workload for Zeke?
Rest of the season, no. This week, yes, because they're playing Dallas. I have a weird feeling Bill Belichick has been ramping up his workload just for this week so he can use Zeke against his former team. I honestly think that. So, obviously, Stevenson still has to be started because you draft him as your second running back.
Well, how about that, Ike, after you've been gassing up Javonte Williams all day?
I was waiting for
Stevenson or Javonte Williams here from Joshua?
Well, in my rankings, I have Ramondre over Javonte.
I'm going to go Ramondre there as well. Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, don't fall for the matchup against the Bears. Like usually when you get two good matchups where it's like, oh, the Broncos suck on this side, the Bears are going to do good on this side, and then vice versa with Broncos. It's usually just a shitty game. All
Fair enough.
Yeah, that might have been your
just shitty.
That was your best point of the night, Mike. No doubt. No about it.
Best of the year.
Oh, fantastic. Let's jump back into this game. We got the Dallas Cowboys now. Mike, is Dak a top 12 guy in your opinion this week, or are you?
I feel like you only asked me this question because you have Dak and you're deciding.
No, it's Brock Purdy all day this week. That's where I'm going. We'll touch on him in the next game.
I would put Dak at literally probably 12. Because I do think this Patriots defense is the strength of the team.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to challenge him with multiple looks and multiple schemes. That's just what Belichick does.
He's going to get confused.
I mean, he's got all the former Cowboys players over there telling him, all the secrets about the offense and the defense. So, like, I have him as a very low end QB 12, probably.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried about CeeDee Lamb this week because I don't know if you guys saw how good Christian Gonzalez has been for the Patriots. You guys check that out. Like
yes, he's good.
Yeah, he's very, very solid. So I wonder if he's just going to follow CD around. So CD's very talented.
A little bit taller than him.
Yeah, CD's very talented. So maybe he'll still get his, but maybe temper some expectations for him this week. But
Dak should not be a top 12 quarterback, by the way.
Right. I said 12. I said right at 12.
I think I'm at like 16.
Yeah, but you're really not looking forward to starting Brandon Cooks. You're not starting Michael Gallup.
Jamie. Zach Wilson got 170 yards against the Patriots. That equates to 380 for a normal.
I like it. I like that.
Fair. Or basically 170 for Justin Fields, too.
That's
The next game we got is the Arizona I'm better than the Bears Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. Ike, we thought Hollywood Brown was going to be a dumpster fire with Joshua Dobbs, the rocket scientist, throwing him the ball. But Hollywood has been very, very solid. Do you expect that to continue? And where do you have him ranked against the Niners?
It's the Niners. They're going against... I still don't think Dobbs is good, so I have Hollywood Brown a little low. Not gonna lie, I think it's good. They're gonna come back to earth. I would not be starting Hollywood Brown against this really good defense. You can find better options.
They may come back down to earth because they're going against this defense, but man, that win against the Cowboys is a big,
by the way,
confidence boost.
He is dealing with an injury.
The Cardinals just punched the Cowboys in the mouth last week. Yeah.
You can play with the thumb. Stop. Come on, seriousseriously.
Yeah, just play with the club.
He's out with a thumb injury. I'm gonna be just
no. He'll be fine. But if you, I know the answer to this, but we should probably touch on it because this is the worst possible matchup for James Conner. But
just for running backs in general,
you still have to roll him out there. In most cases, would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're rolling them out there based on the volume, but you're really hoping for a touchdown to kind of save the week.
Sure. Looking at the Niners, Mike, like I said, we're going to talk about
Would you rather play a running back against the Niners defense or the Titans defense?
Probably the Titans.
I would hate to have that decision where both your running backs are playing the Niners and the Titans that week.
Yeah, that's
like,
you're not.
I'll hope for Titans because Titans are brutal on offense,
Yeah.
so
at
they'll
least
have
allow-
to just
yeah.
run the ball.
Yep. Mike, Big Cock Brock back on his 2-touchdown streak. He's started a new one. Is he a top 12 guy this week and rest of the season, man? He's just got so many nice shiny toys everywhere. Brandon Ayuk, he's back.
I think
Stop thinking he's got, bro. It's just a
Brock
guy.
Purdy's like he's got like he's got like a reverse thing going for me. Like it's kind of like a reverse psychology because it's like the matchups you don't think he's gonna do well in, he does. He gets you 2+ touchdowns. He gets you 200+ yards. But then you get this matchup where it's like, oh, he's just gonna dominate. It's just like I don't know if he will dominate. I think he gets easily 2 touchdowns, and C-Mac probably gets one of those passing touchdowns because of just this offense and how it operates.
Yeah.
The rest of the season, no, he's not a top 12 quarterback, but this week I do think he surprises people and actually is a top 12 quarterback. Just because it's one of those ones where it's like, oh man, the Niners are just going to run it down the Cardinals' throat. Where, I mean, I don't know if they will just run it down their throat. I think they might have to pass it on him where Brock Purdy will have a good week.
I'd play him over Burrow.
You play him over Dak too, like?
Yes. And Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, that's a given at this point.
Russell Wilson.
Right on.
I have him actually quarterback 8.
Would you play him over Kirk Cousins?
No.
Okay, that's what I was curious about because
no.
it's like Brock Purdy and Kirk Cousins are the same exact archetype, quarterback really.
Purdy's a little bit faster. Come on, Kirk's about as fast as us.
I mean, the only reason he's faster is because
we
he's
definitely
younger,
saw that you weren't fast, Mike Capelli, losing in a foot race to a 40-year-old man this yesterday. But let's move on here. Sunday Night Football.
I didn't see you racing.
That's because
I can.
I know my place.
I'm
we got the Kansas City Chiefs against the New York Jets. I wish they could have flexed this game out of here. This is gross. Probably just gonna watch TV with my wife and not watch this game on Sunday Night Football. If I'm being honest with you,
It's the night of The Bachelor for you.
Yes. Actually, I don't know what's on Sundays, but we're gonna find something. Maybe get caught up on.
I mean, you can watch The
Master
Bachelor.
Chef or something.
It's called Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
There it is. Yep. Just like every other show that's on right now, we have to get our Taylor Swift reference in, huh, Mike? You hit our quota for the day.
One a show.
Yep. Ike, make this one easy for you. All you got to do is choose one running back out of this offense and choose one wide receiver out of this Chiefs offense.
How is that easy?
Yeah. And who are they?
I'm going Isaiah Pacheco, obviously, but for wide receiver,
I was gonna say, we got to talk about the backfield, man, because they're working in all 3 of the guys. Like we kind of figured that it was gonna be Pacheco, and that it was gonna be Jerick McKinnon in the passing game, but CH doesn't go away. He turned into he changed from a first-round draft pick to a pest.
Pacheco's still the more talented running back out of the 3, so I'd like to think talent prevails.
Mm-hmm.
But it's against the New York Jets defense, so either one is still a risky start, no matter what one you want to go with, which I'd lean Pacheco more.
Sure.
For wide receiver, I guess Rashee Rice.
Really?
He's seeing some targets more consistently than the other goons. I don't know. Sky Moore is useless. Kadarius Toney can't catch a ball. Don't say Sky Moore isn't useless because he only caught 1 touchdown. That's the only thing that saved his career right now. What has MVS done, by the way?
He's been their best receiver. That's what he's done.
What's their best wide receiver doing, though?
No, that's what I'm
averaging
saying.
3 catches?
Yeah, he has been their best wide receiver, but their wide
Are
receiver
you saying he's been their best receiver because that 1 catch he had last week?
No, it's just altogether. He's been probably the most consistent.
Yeah, that's bad.
Mike,
I never said it was good, and it's not like
Please don't start any of them. That's all I gotta say. Don't start any of them.
There's competition for him, but
I can't believe we're saying that about Chiefs offense, but you're not starting any wide receiver, and the running backs are hard to start too.
Dylan.
There you go, Jamie. Yeah. I used to be a big Simpsons fan, but kind of grew out of it the last decade or so. But yeah, was a big Simpsons guy.
Looking forward to the Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, always got to tune into that, right? New York Jets offense, though, Mike. I guess, do you have confidence in starting any of these guys?
No.
I was going to say, Kansas
the
City's
rumors are
defense is
coming out.
awesome, too.
They're fast.
Yeah.
There's rumors that Robert Saleh is going to lose the locker room because he has so much faith in Zach Wilson right now. So I don't even think their defense has any confidence in their offense at this moment. And, you know, like they basically said, if any other quarterback was doing this, they'd been benched already. So, like, no, I have zero confidence in this offense. And I guess the only one you can really kind of start, and I'm maybe in the flex, is Breece Hall. But even then, it's like until his volume gets a little bit more of an uptick, it's still to
You
really
don't want to
start.
Offensive line is so bad, you're gonna have to rely on a big play from him.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's capable of it, though. We saw it.
Start Breece Hall, no.
He's capable of the big play. I said if you're, you know, kind of flex play, desperate. It's yuck.
Yeah, dude. Some people are in like 14-team leagues. That's like their top
it's
right
yuck. But he's still it's a warm body you can put in the slot. So I mean, yeah, it's
warm-ish.
I have zero confidence in this offense. Garrett Wilson was saved by a long touchdown. I mean, if Garrett Wilson can do it, I think Breece Hall can do it.
Yeah. Just Kansas City's defense has just been, like you said, like they're young, they're fast, very good. The
cornerbacks have been coverage. Very well.
That's why I'm super worried about Garrett Wilson, and you can't have any confidence in starting him this week. But you have to. It sucks, man. He's top 10 top 10.
But they've been without Nick Bolton for a couple weeks, and if Nick Bolton's out, I do like a little bit. I do like Breece Hall's chances for a bigger play.
All right.
Sure.
Last game of the week, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. Like, is Zach Charbonnet someone we need to keep on our radar for this week and moving forward after him finding the end zone last week, or that was just kind of a flash of the pan type of thing, and it's still all Kenneth Walker?
I think it was just flash and pan. Kenneth Walker scored 2 touchdowns still, so he is the guy. He shut me out this year for sure, but you can keep an eye on Zach for sure. He looks like an angry runner. I like it.
Yeah. So someone who you're interested in stashing if you have room on your bench somewhere.
See what he does after the bye week. Once the bye, because usually running backs ramp up more after the bye week. See it. Sure. He'll probably get decent amount more touches, but not enough to want to start him yet.
How about JSN? Are we panicking on him? Is he droppable, or are we still hanging on to him and waiting for that surge in the second half of the season after the bye week to get more acclimated as well?
If you aren't hurting, like if you're 2-1, 3-0, whatever, stash him because you don't have to worry. But if you're struggling 1-2 and 3, you can't afford to be stashing a guy not getting the targets yet. But this is kind of what we expected from JSN with these two guys here. So he was more of a dynasty player than redraft all year, pretty much. At least I thought so. So
yeah, that's totally fair. Mike, looking at the Giants side of things.
No, he's not.
No, he's
I'm looking up.
Matt Breida found the end zone, so if you started him last week, you were saved by that. But yeah, you are more lucky than good. But is Breida someone that you're
sometimes
interested
it's better?
Yeah, that is true. Are you interested in Breida this week, Mike, or are you out on him here?
With Barkley being doubtful, I am interested. Yes. The usage rate was about the same between Brightwell and Breida. Breida just got lucky and fell in the end zone. But the snap count was egregiously different. 82% to 18 for Gary Brightwell, where Matt Breida was the 82%.
Sure,
so, they just used Brightwell when he was on the field, and it was more towards the end of the game when they were just kind of like, yeah, we're done. All right, you know what I mean? Where Breida was taking majority of those snaps when they thought they were in the game. So I do prefer Breida, especially with Barkley being out. I do think he gets more of a workload if they're in the game, which the Seahawks, their defense is not the greatest. So I do think they could, it could be a closer game here than just a blowout.
Giants offense looks bad though.
Yeah, can we get the frickin' Darren Waller that we were promised this year from everybody? Like,
no, unfortunately.
Good Morning Football is talking that Darren Waller is going to see 130 targets this year. Really?
Yeah, weird. All they need to do is put a linebacker below him and the safety over top. What are they going to do? What's Dan Jones going to do? Throw to Darius Slayton?
Yeah, I mean, Darren Waller controls the middle of the field, and if the defense just locks up the middle of the field and they allow just the outside routes, I mean, it's going to be on those receivers to start making plays. Otherwise, they are just going to continue to lock up the middle of the field, which forces Daniel Jones to overthrow a 6'7" Darren Waller.
Sure.
Like last week.
Start putting Jalen Hyatt on the field. So there's some
Yeah.
speed out there.
Yeah, you gotta get that safety to travel back with Jalen Hyatt.
Absolutely, guys. But yeah, that wraps up our week 4 game previews. That was a good one, guys. I liked it. But if you got any start-sit questions, make sure to tune in to the YouTube channel tomorrow, where we will be live starting at 10:30 Eastern time. We have Alan on to talk bets with us, Mike. Joe will be on at 10:45 to talk his rankings once again. You'll find myself, Michael Plant, and Jordan Schultz talking start-sit questions for an hour. And then you have Dave Eddy and Chris Robin talking DFS up until roster lock. So make sure you tune in to tomorrow and hit that bell for notifications so you know
hit the bell
when we go live. Please smash that like button if you haven't already. Please head on over to fantasy6pack.net and become an all-access member. Get access to our rankings, get access to the Discord. It's just really good stuff over there, guys. But yeah, myself and Mike will talk to you guys tomorrow. And for Ike, we're out of here. See you.